Well, when I decided to make this series, I didn't expect there would be so much good anime this year. I didn't even watch all the good stuff from winter, and spring has even more anime that interests me. Spring 2021 looks good, but it certainly won't outclass the winter. I was proven wrong there. If this year continues on this quality, we may have one of, if not the best year of anime. Yes, I went back to check what anime aired each year because I have nothing better to do. Like, we have two good mecha shows this season. The last time mecha was on the radar of people, I didn't even know what anime meant. If we don't count Dying in the Franks, and I think a lot of people would rather not. So I will be covering 6 anime from this season for the sake of my sanity. Once again, these are just my opinions and not a serious critique. So with that covered, let's get into the anime. Okay, you've all heard about My Hero Aka, and definitely know everything about it. And this new season is more of the same, and despite all the criticism, I love this series. This was my entry shonen, and it's kinda hard to hate on it for me. Yes, we have another definitely not a tournament arc, and I'm gonna eat it all up. I have to congratulate the creator for making me like all the students of 1B, despite my initial thoughts. Wow, did he even try with the designs? I heard a lot of people saying this is the worst arc of the series, and I can't agree on that. The last 3 big arcs were way worse. Like with season 4, I thought I just stopped liking this series, but now I'm back to loving it. This arc is really fun, seeing the personalities and powers of 1B, Madman is perfect. And the next arc to be covered in the anime is going to be focused on the villains. That sounds really cool. So yeah, My Hero Aka, I'm not gonna pretend I have some refined taste. I like the big shonen with all my heart. I realize that this being my entry shonen is a big factor in me loving it. But as it stands now, it is my favorite shonen and I'm completely invested. Man, SSSS Dynasty is just cool. I love everything about it. I enjoy it much more than Gridman. But maybe that's because I'm watching it weekly and not binge watching. Man, I just wanna shake hands with whoever is designing the Keijus, because he's doing an amazing job. Of course, the 3D isn't always great. This actually looks disgusting, who did this? But I like the 3D in this series a lot. As for if it is better than Gridman, I can say that so far yes, with 8 episodes aired. It actually gives a shit about the cast. And man, am I interested in everything that it set up? The underlying mystery now is who was that woman who gifted Goma Dynazenon and why did 5 people 5000 years old awoke in the modern age? I just hope it lands its finale and it will be satisfying. That's the biggest worry when Trigger makes a show. But it's directed by the same guy as Gridman, so I think we're in safe hands. The villains are also very cool, and more interesting than I expected, because they can just chill. In episode 8 they just go have some fun and they just fuck around until morning. Like true mates. Also, Dynazenon is setting up a lot more emotional storylines than Gridman. I don't know if they will have a satisfying resolution. I hope they didn't bite off more than they could chew. But so far I haven't been disappointed with anything, so I have trust in the production. I would recommend this to anyone, too little people actually watch it, and I wish more people knew about it. Combatants Will Be Dispatched is the next adaptation of a light novel from the author of Konosuba. And it's very much like it. It's set in a fantasy world, but this time the main heroes are from an advanced evil organization that wants to set up a portal and invade this planet. Alright, I'm gonna be honest, when I started this series, I thought it wasn't funny at all, which was the same problem I had with Konosuba. That was a bummer. I saw all these people talking about how funny it was and I was in the corner crying because I couldn't enjoy it. But I continued watching this because I wanted to have good taste and I liked the chemistry between the main cast. And then something changed. With every episode, it got funnier. And now I found it hilarious, maybe because I know the characters better. So with that knowledge, maybe I'll revisit Konosuba to finally get context for all those amazing doujins. As this series stands, it's great comedy. I normally don't like perfect humor, but this is an exception. Also, the main duo earned points for doing some sadistic and evil shit, so automatically this makes for some great comedy. Yeah, this is just good. Vivi is probably the biggest surprise of this season for me, because initially I didn't even give it a chance and wrote it off as an idol show. But then I heard it's written by the creator of ReZero, one of my favorites, so I had to give it a watch. And it's good, it's animated by the guys at Studio Wit. If you're wondering who they are, they did the adaptation of Attack on Titan and Villain Saga and also The Great Pretender, so this series is in good hands. I just have this headcanon that they finally got rid of Attack on Titan, but after they let out a sigh of relief they were like, "Wait, we don't have anything to flex our animation on. Quick, call up the creator of ReZero." So what about the series? It is about an idle AI contacted by another AI from the future. Together they try to stop the advances in AI rights, so that a brutal conflict with AIs in the future doesn't break out. No, this isn't the Terminator, what are you talking about? It definitely screams like something the author of ReZero would do. By that I mean, there is a lot of blood. And I realized something. I thought I was really into gore. Like my favorite series are Attack on Titan, ReZero, Made in Abyss. But this series didn't do anything for me. So I finally understood. It wasn't the gore, it was the trauma. Which this series lacks for like the first 4 episodes. Maybe that's the reason I didn't enjoy the series initially. But I must say, it gets better with every episode. I'm not sure about Vivi as a character. I didn't like her at all initially. She had a great standalone moments, but she is meh. I don't think that the emotionless girl trope works here. I liked for example Violet, but that was because it was tragic, she didn't understand emotions. She was a child of war and that added great depth. But Vivi is just a classic boring AI. She improves with time. I'm sure that by the end of the series I will change my mind. And probably cry? It's from the creator of ReZero. He's kinda good at making characters you hated or thought they were boring into really good characters. The rest was great from the beginning. It had an interesting plot hook, Matsumoto is very likable, the individual arcs are great stories. Really the only thing holding it back was Vivi. And she wasn't holding it back to the point it was a snooze fest. Just kinda limiting the potential. Right now I think the series is great and really worth checking out. Also, can I talk about the sound design? I don't know why, but this series developed a new fetish for me. Glitchy voices. Just listen. Doesn't it sound orgasmic? Also this scream. Alright, moving on. Your Eternity is another anime that took me by surprise. I read the synopsis, thought it sounded okay and then decided I won't watch it. Until I learned it's from the creator of Silent Voice. Man, all these returning writers this season. Silent Voice is an incredible film, so I had to watch it. This is an interesting series. It's about an entity initially taking form of an orb that can take on forms of the things that die close to it. Unless we count rocks, rocks can die. As the series continues, he slowly learns things. Talking, eating, feeling emotions. I haven't seen anything like this. I don't think it's even close to being as good as Silent Voice. But it's still very interesting. It gives off this feeling of melancholy and wonder. The series isn't for everybody. It isn't an action shonen or a cry fest. It is just well done art and kinda bittersweet. A story about people trying to do their best in difficult life situations. I think I have to wait until it finishes to properly form an opinion. With every episode, the emotions of this series become more potent. I don't know why, but it gives off this calming vibe I haven't felt for a long time. I will report about this series later. Let's move on to the last anime, and my anime of this season. Nomad is amazing. I thought Megalobox fulfilled all its potential to the fullest. But Nomad has so much going for it, taking our winning champion and visiting him in the darkest time of his life. Knowing he broke every promise, and watching as he slowly tries to fix his relationships. It's hard not to feel sorry for Joe, but it's also perfectly understandable why people cut contact with him. The boxing element is perfect. These matches are just pure hype. Also, now that there isn't a single storyline, each match feels unique. Trying to secure home for his people, fighting so they can pay for the damages of a friend's restaurant. Finally fighting the legend you've always lived in the shadow of. Showing the pit of despair Joe fell into and then meeting someone who helps him to get up. I love this series. For now it secured the spot of my anime of the season. Maybe this will change. It is a lot closer race than last time, where for me Wonder Egg dominated. But I think the animation quality, the fights and the quality of writing makes this series better than the others I'm watching. So yeah, that's what I'm watching right now. I will definitely go back to watch 86, Tokyo Revengers, or Taxi, Those Snow White Notes, and others. There is a lot to watch. I can't believe I initially thought this season will be bad. I genuinely thought that anime coming out are lackluster for the first 3 weeks of the season. But I think now it was able to surpass the winter. The summer season looks dry right now, so I hope it will be as much of a surprise as this season. I've been Nicholas from Anydive, I hope you liked this video, and I will see you next time. The end. Hey there, I would just like to add that this video took way longer than I expected to come out because I had a lot of exams in school and I just didn't keep up with much, so yeah.